Alright, so in this video what we are going to do is we are going to look at Model View Controller, which is also called as MVC. Now MVC is an architectural pattern which was invented in probably 1970s around, and it has been used in different technologies altogether. Now here specifically what we will be looking at as is from ASP.NET perspective. What is ASP.NET MVC going to do? Now, just to give an example, if user tries to interact with the application or a UI, what user does is user is able to see a view. View is which is a UI, that is a user interface. There might be buttons, there might be links, there might be text boxes, text fields that the user will be able to have a look at it and he'll be able to interact with it. When I say interaction, what I meant is he might be able to do some selections or he might be able to do some submissions from the UI, and from there when the user interaction happens it calls the controller. So controller is kind of a mediator. Controller is present in the code. It will send back the update to the view in case there is no change in the data. So if there is no change in the data as such, it will just display or it will update the view to some other view. It might happen, and based on that it will display the view to the user. So user will be able to see that the page has changed as such. In case if there is a change in the data, so if there is a change in the data, what really happens is it updates the model or it updates the data, and the model what it does is it updates the database based on this model. Now the model, if it changes the data based on the changes that might have been done by the user, it sends back the update or a notify to the controller which acts as a mediator. It sends the update back to the view. So this happens where if there has been change in the data. Simultaneously what really happens is database is updated by the model. Now looking at the pictorial design, what really happens is view is something which is really present for the viewers to or users to interact as such, based on which the user interacts. Controller is kind of a mediator in between, and it redirects based on whether the data has really got updated and if the data has not got updated, it will send an update back to a view. So it will display some other page altogether based on what has been interacted by the user. Some a model is interacts with the database, so anything related to database that gets interacted by the model as such. So the flow that happens is from view to controller to model, and from model to controller to view. So the transaction can pass from one direction to another in this way. Now going back to our application, if I open up Visual Studio and I just go and click on IIS Express, and I'll just show the application that we were looking at earlier. Once the application and the browser has opened up, the user can click on Home or he can click on Privacy. Now privacy is something which is visible as a link to the user. So if the user clicks on this and you notice something has changed above in this browser. So earlier it was home, but it has changed to home to privacy. So the URL has changed and the user has landed on this privacy policy page, which is again another view. So there was a view earlier for the user which did not have anything in the end, so it was just a URL. He just clicked on privacy, and the moment he did that, the controller changed, and from the controller it looks like there is a home controller and there is a privacy view, and we will be checking that in our code as well. So if I minimize this browser, move to the view section, over here by the template it looks like we have got default folders created, which is a model, view and controllers. So if I go to views and if I go to index, there is a page that appears for the first page. Index is something which is the first page which appears on our web application. So this is the content that appears on the web page, which is welcome building web apps with ASP.NET Core. And if I go to shared folder, shared folder is something like a common pages across the web application. And if I click on underscore layout page, I'll be able to see over here that there is a link over here which is called as privacy. So what user did was he just clicked on this link, and when he clicked on this link, there is a home controller over here. Over home controller, there is a method called privacy, and from home controller it went to view. So from privacy method it called the view, and it will try to look at privacy view as such under view folders. If I click on that, this is the view which was displayed for the user, which is use this page to detail your site's privacy policy. So user was directed to this privacy page or a privacy view. So this is how it works. Earlier user was displayed with underscore layout. There was a link of privacy that was clicked. It went to controller. From view it went to controller. From controller it went to this method which is privacy, and it tried to display the view. From the controller it went into this view which is privacy, and it displayed to the user. So this is how interaction really works from view to controller. Now the database hasn't come into picture. There is a default folder which is for models as well, but that is almost empty. We will try to use models. When we talk about business models, we will be able to understand how to create a model and how to use that with the database structure as well. But just for giving a view of MVC as such, this is the pictorial diagram or the graphical representation, and this is from code perspective how it really works in the application as such. So hope you guys got an idea about MVC in this particular video.